Welcome to Sir Win's Accounting Lectures. Today, magkakaroon tayo ng pen and paper video problem solving patungkol sa Lecture 02, Impairment of Loans Receivable. Actually, nasa description ng mismong video lecture na ito, yung problem under discussion. Kung gusto mong sagutan ng solo at balikan ang lecture na ito kapag tapos ka na, mas mabuti. Kasi, ang accounting ay natututunan not by mere listening but actually by you doing the problem solving. Pero kung may sagot ka na nga, simulan na natin. So again, Lecture 02, Impairment of Loans Receivable. And here is our problem. Actually, mahaba po yan. Okay? So punta muna tayo dun sa kung ano yung requirements. Ang sabi dito, required journal entries for 2024 to 2027. Okay? By the way, itong problem na to, ang sabi dito, the entity decided to apply for a 3-stage approach of determining the impairment of loan. May impairment at gagamitin po natin yung 3 stages. Okay, so we read first the problem mula sa unahan. Per year natin babasahin, we apply per stages. On January 1, 2024, Hiyaiza Bank loaned 3 million to a borrower. The contract specified that the loan had a 6-year term and a 9% interest rate. Interest is payable annually every December 31 and the principal amount will be collected on December 31, 2029. Interest is collected for 2024. On December 31, 2024, the bank determined that the loan has a 12-month probability of default of 10% and expected to collect only 90% of the loan. O yan po yung problem sa 2024. Ito kasi 2025 na. So gawin na muna natin yung entry for 2024. Okay? So una, January 1. 2024, okay, January 1, there is a loan. Therefore, we are going to debit loans receivable amounting to 3 million and credit cash kasi nagpautang po muna tayo 3 million. And then, nasabi dito, ang interest niya 9%. Okay? Nakolekta naman natin yan for the first year kasi every year yan yung binabayaran every December 31. Therefore, we will be having an entry on December 31, 2024. We are going to debit cash and credit interest income. Okay, how much? Since 3 million yung loan, okay, that will be multiplied to 9%. So times 0.09. The answer would be 270,000. Nakolekta naman daw yan. Okay? And then ano pa nangyari? Noong December 31, there is a 12-month probability of default. Okay, therefore, ito po yung tinatawag na stage 1. Kung saan meron tinatawag na low credit risk. Okay? So, sulatan na din natin para mas maliwanag. Mag-discuss din tayo ng accounting theory na sa stage 1, okay, low credit risk po yan. So, meron naman daw hindi mababayaran. Okay? Sabi nga dito, ang probability na makakakolekta mo lamang ay 90% ng loan. At ang probability na hindi mababayaran yun ay 10%. Hindi po natin dito minimeasure yung lifetime credit risk, but rather ang atin lamang pong minimeasure is 12-month expected credit losses. Yung mga tipong sa tingin mo ilang percent yung hindi makukolekta 1 year from now. At yun ang yung sinasabi dito na 10%. Okay? Subukan nating isolve at mamaya lalaliman pa natin ang discussion as we go along. Kasi para makumpara natin. So una, we have to compute for the expected, okay, cash flow. Ang sabi dito, 90% ang makukolekta doon sa loan. Di ba ang loan natin 3 million? Okay? 90% doon ang makukolekta. Therefore, the expected cash flow is 2,700,000. That will happen when? On December 31, 2029, since that is the maturity date. Pero ngayon kasi is December 31, 2024. Hindi mo pa naman yan makukolekta ngayong date na to, December 31, 2024. But rather matagal pa, ilang taon pa. I believe 5 years yung pagitan ng 2024, December 31, hanggang December 31, 2029. Therefore, we have to convert that. So therefore, we have to use the PB factor. Okay? Alam mong PB factor po yun, di ba sinabi dito sa ilalim? The present value po at 9% is 0.649945 periods. Yun yung gagamitin natin. It will be multiplied to 0.6499. Kailangan mo siyang i-convert sa kanyang present value. So present value. Again, Kasi kung kailangan natin malaman magkano yung expected cash flow, not later but today. Kasi ito nga ay expected cash flow December 31, 2029. Pag present value mo siya, ito yung expected cash flow as of December 31, 2024 kung i-convert mo. So again, we multiply it by the factor 0.6499. The answer would be 1,754,730. Yan po yung ating expected future cash flow, yung present value as of this date. Okay? Now, anong kasunod? Yan na po ba yung ating loan impairment? Hindi pa. Okay? We have to compare with the carrying amount of the loan and the expected cash flow. So, the carrying amount is 3 million. And then, the present value of the cash flow is 1,754,730. Okay? Therefore, ang difference ng dalawa, ito yung expected credit losses. Ayan, so magkano po yan? So minus 3 million. Okay? Ay, mali yata yung type natin. 3 million minus 1,754,730. We will get 1,245,270. Okay? Pero hindi nga yan yung i-assume natin na credit losses. Hindi naman lifetime eh. But rather yung 1 year lang. So therefore, we still have to multiply that with probability of default within 12 months. So yung tinatawag na 12 months expected credit loss. Na ang sabi dun sa problem na ating pong binasa nandito, is 10% yung probability na hindi makokolekta. Okay, therefore this will be multiplied by 10%. Ayan, times 0.10. This amount, 124,527, ang tatawagin ngayon tuloy na 12-month expected credit losses. So ito na nga siya, di ba? Ito yung rate kasi eh. So ito na nga yung ating impairment loss. Okay, impairment loss. At yan po yung gagawa natin ng entry. So dito na lang natin ilagay sa taas. So we are going to debit impairment loss. Impairment loss po yan. Okay, 124,527 and credit allowance for loan impairment. Ayan. Again, kung sakaling lifetime, ito sana siya. Pero dahil 12 months lang tayo, ito lang ating dinetermine 10%. I mean, kung sakaling naka total impairment siya, Okay, pero dahil nga 10 months, 10% lang doon sa expected 12-month expected credit losses, yun lang yung ating gagamitin sa computation. Dahil nga, low credit risk pa lang naman, stage 1 kasi. By the way, how much is the carrying amount of our loan? Lagyan na din po natin ang computation. So, our loans receivable, nung simula, is 3 million. And then we have allowance. Allowance for loan impairment. Okay? Amounting to 124,527. So the difference of the two is our carrying amount. So carrying amount as of December 31, 2024. Okay? So magkano po yun? So minus 3 million na lang. Okay, so 2,875,473. I believe that is a computation for stage 1 if low ang credit risk. Now, let's move on to the next. Ay, may bago ako tayo mapel dito. So, on December 31, 2025, the bank determined that there is a significant increase in credit risk of the loan but no objective evidence of impairment. Based on the relevant information, the bank concluded that there is a 30% probability of default over the remaining term of the loan and it is expected that only 60% of the loan will be collected. Interest is collected in 2025. Okay? So by the way, sa case na to, siya ay stage 2 na. Okay? Ano ba yung senyales na stage 2 na siya? Wala pa ring clear or objective evidence of impairment. Pero maaaring hindi na sila nakakabayad. Let's say 30 months na 30 days na silang delay doon sa kanilang babayaran dapat. So pwedeng yun na po yung stage 2. Ang tawag sa kanya, there is a significant increase in credit risk. Ang credit risk, yung tsansang hindi siya magbabayad. Okay? But no objective evidence. Ibig sabihin, wala kang siguradong dahilan. Okay? Objective evidence. Okay? Of impairment. Okay? Kumbaga ay, hindi siya nakakabayad isang buwan na. So, hindi ka rin naman siguradong sobra na totoong impaired siya. Pero stage 2 na kasi sabi mo, dati nakakabayad, bakit ngayon hindi na? Okay, so ano gagawin po natin doon? Katulad pa rin ng process nung kanina. First, okay, kumpara din natin dito. Kumpara natin dito. Para makita nyo na parehas lang naman yung stage 1 at stage 2 pagdating halos sa computation. Okay? We have to compute for the expected cash flow. Okay? Cash flow noong December 31, 2029. Di ba magmamature siya ay after 6 years before. Okay? Na ang sabi dito, okay, ang makokolekta na lang ay magkano? 60% na lang daw nung loan. Di ba ang loan nga natin 3 million? Okay? 60% na lang ang makokolekta. Therefore, sa December 31, 2029, the amount of the loan is to be collected is 1,800,000. Yan po yung ating expectation. Okay? Pero that is 2029 pa. Ang kailangan natin is magkano siya nung 2025. Therefore, katulad ng ating solution kanina, we have to use the PB factor. Okay? We have to discount it. Ngayon, alin na po ang gagamitin natin? Ang gagamitin natin is ito. For 4 periods. Okay, bakit for 4 periods? Kasi tandaan natin, ngayon ay 2025 na. So 2025 to 2029 is 4 years. That's why this time, we use 0.7084 for 4 periods. And whatever is the answer, that will be the present value, okay, of cash flow as of 12/31/2025. Kino-convert mo lang. Okay? Kasi nga sabi mo, ito yung pera makukolekta, pero matagal pa. Ang kailangan ko yung ngayon. Kaya natin pinipresent value. Para makumpara mo yung clearing amount niya at saka yung talagang value na niya na ngayon. Kasi nabago nga. Kasi feeling mo, nag-increase nga ang credit risk. Okay? So may sagot na po tayo sa expected future cash flow. Now, we compute for the carrying amount. Okay? So the carrying amount, yung recorded, okay? The carrying amount of the loan is, yun talaga kung magkano yung ating pautang, which is 3 million. Okay? And then, the present value as of today, December 31, 2025, is, ito na nga, 1,275,120. The difference would be the expected credit loss. Expected credit loss. But this time, hindi siya yung, hindi na natin kikwentahin yung for 12 months lang. Kasi nga tayo is stage 2 na. Ang kakailangan na natin na expected credit loss is yung lifetime. Mamaya makikita po pala natin. So 3 million minus 1,275,120. We will get 1,724,880. Wait. Ikumpara nga muna ulit natin. Okay, so ito yung stage 1 sa nakita parehas at saka stage 2. Okay, nandito pa tayo. Parehas lang ba yung pagkikwenta ng present value? I believe yes. Parehas lang ba yung pagkikwenta ng expected credit loss? Yes. The face value of the loan multiply less the present value computed, magkaiba lang ng taon, syempre lumipas ang isang taon, and then we compute for the expected credit losses. O nato na yung sinasabi natin pagkakaiba. This time, hindi na natin gagamitin yung 12-month expected credit loss rate, but rather, ang gagamitin na natin is yung lifetime. Sabi dito sa problem, okay, it is concluded that 30% daw po, hindi kita, 30% ang probability ng default over the remaining term of the loan. Therefore, hindi siya pang 1 year lang. Siya ay for the remaining term. In short, siya yung lifetime credit loss, di ba? So, yun yung probability of default. So, therefore, atin pong i-multiply dun sa probability of default lifetime. Okay, the answer is 30%. So, multiply by 30%. Actually, kung titingnan mo yung process, katulad lang siya, di ba? Kasi kanina, minultiply natin ng 10%. Okay? Minultiply natin kanina ng 10%. Ngayon naman, i-multiply natin ng 30%. Parehas lang yung process. Ang kaibahan lang nga ay pang lifetime. Ito naman ay pang 12 months. Maaari kasi sa problem, ibigay dito yung pang 12 months. Kung sakaling ganun, i-ignore mo. Kasi nga kapag ka stage 2 and stage 3, ang sinusunod na po natin is yung lifetime. To compute again for this impairment loss. The impairment loss is this amount multiplied by 30%. So, 517,464. Okay? So, yan na. Tumuloy pa po tayo. Okay? Yan ba ang ating i-record? Hindi naman. Kasi nga, okay, may naka-record na dati. So, lifetime credit loss allowance is 517,464. Pero meron ka ng balance before unadjusted allowance as of last year, December 31, 2024, which is yung sinod natin kanina, okay? That is amounting to, ito, 124,000. Kita mo ba? Yeah, 124,527. Okay? So, kukunin mo na lang yung increase. At yun na lang yung ating i-record as impairment loss talaga. Impairment loss for 2025. Ito kasi total. Total na impairment loss na yan. Ay kung may naka-record ka na dati, therefore, ba't yung pa-record lahat? So, 517,464 minus 124,527. So, ito lang yung increase. 392,937. Kwentahin na rin natin yung kanyang carrying amount. Okay? So, yung ating loans receivable, is amounting to 3 million naman talaga. And then we have here allowance. Allowance for loan impairment. Yung ating updated balance is 517,464. Tama ba? Eh kasi nga, syempre, ito yung dinagdag mo, ito yung dati. So therefore, 517,000 ka talaga to get the carrying amount. To get the carrying amount as of December 31, 2025. Solution, okay? 3 million minus 517,464. Okay? 2,482,536. What will be the entry for 2025? Malamang ang entry po natin ay lahat ay December 31 lang. Okay? So, 2025, December 31. Sinabi naman sa problem na nakakolekta tayo ng interest. So, therefore, we are going to debit cash and credit interest income. Hindi bagat yung ating ang pautang ay 3 million. Okay? At ang ating interest naman talaga ay 9%. So, meron pa rin naman tayo nakokolekta na 270,000. Okay? Nagkaroon nga lang na impairment, kaya that's why we are going to debit impairment loss. We debit impairment loss. And we credit allowance for loan impairment. Inuulit po natin, hindi natin nire-record yung 517,464, but rather yung increase lang. 392,937. Eh kasi nga, last year, nakapag-record na tayo ng 124,527. Kaya yun na lang idadagdag ang ating isasama. I believe that will be the entry for 2025. Kung sakaling meron pong stage 2, significant increase in credit risk, but no objective evidence of impairment. So ituloy na po natin yung problem. Meron pa ako dito isang papel. Okay? At mamaya lalagyan natin ng summary silang tatlo. On December 31, 2026, the borrower was under financial difficulty and the loan was considered impaired because there is now objective evidence of impairment. O yan na, sinabi na ng problem na impaired na talaga. May objective evidence. Ibig sabihin, totoo nakakakita na tayo na mababankrupt na si company na ating pinautang kasi objective na yung evidence eh. Hindi na siya basta opinion mo. Okay, the bank agreed that only 40% of the principal will be collected on due date. Okay, nonetheless, interest is collected for 2026. Okay? So, sulat muna natin na tayo po ay nasa sa stage 3 na. Okay? Stage 3. Ano ang stage 3? Ano ang tawag sa kanya? There is an objective evidence of impairment. Okay? Kapag ganito ang inire-recognize natin na impairment loss, katulad siya ng stage 2, ang nire-recognize na natin, pa rin natin is yung lifetime credit loss. Siyempre naman, stage 3 na eh. Okay? So magkano muna ulit tayo ng computation at kukumpara natin kung anong pagkakatulad nila at pagkakaiba. So katulad nung kanina, kailangan pa rin natin ng expected cash flow. Magkano yung makukolekta? Okay? Ang expected cash flow natin, ang sabi dito ay 40% ng principal ang makokolekta. Okay? Mali pala ako. Mamaya yan. So, unahin muna natin ulit. Magkano ba yung... Tama nga. Okay? Yung ating makokolekta. Okay? Bakit yung ba binura? Ulitin natin. Expected... Pasensya naman po. Expected cash flow nung December 31, 2029. Kasi akala ko, ipapakita ko yung solution. Yun pala, diretso ko na siyang kinikwenta. So again, the loan is 3 million. Okay? 3 million. It will be multiplied by 40%. Yun na lang na yung makukolekta, di ba? So times 0.40. So we will get 1,200,000. So ano napapansin natin? Katulad talaga siya nung kanina. Hindi nagkakaiba stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3. And then we have to use the PB factor. Kasi nga, siya ay expected cash flow 2029. Ang kailangan mo talaga ay expected cash flow. Okay? Or present value, yung tinatawag ko kanina, noong December 31, 2026. Kaya kailangan mo ng factor. Ilang taon ba ang pagitan nila? Di ba 3 years? I-give naman doon sa problem, di ba? That the factor is 0.7722. So, 0.7722. By the way, magkakaiba yata yung mga nagagamit ko dito. Expected cash flow, present value. Nonetheless, same lang naman talaga sila. Okay? So, yan. 1,200,000. That will be collected 3 years from now. Pero ngayon, hindi siya yun. Siya ay 0.7722 kasi nga present value. So, 926,640. Okay? Let's move on. We compute again for the expected credit loss. Hindi ba ganito rin yung gagawin natin? Katulad pa rin ng kanina. Okay? Okay, we compute for the carrying amount. Ang carrying amount natin, ayun pa rin, yung loan na 3 million. Okay, and then, yung kanyang present value, present value naman ang ginamit ko. Para malito tayo, hindi, joke lang. Para makita niyo na iba-iba man ang ginagamit na term, iisa lang talaga siya. 926,640. Kaya na pumili, pero mas maganda iisa. Consistent dapat yung ginagamit. Okay, so we get the difference para malaman natin na sa yung expected credit loss. Okay, yung lifetime na. Lifetime credit losses. Ayan. So minus 3 million. Okay, that would be 2,073,360. Doon sa mga naunang problem kanina, sinabi na halimbawa dito sa 2024, ang probability na hindi makokolekta, ang default ay 10%. Dito sa 2025, ang probability ay 30%. Pero dito sa 2026, wala nang sinabi. Okay, basta ang binabanggit lang ay 40% basta ang makokolekta. Therefore, i-assume mo na ito na lang talaga, 100% yan na lang ang makokolekta. Wala nang additional na i-reduce. I mean, doon kasi sa stage 1 and stage 2, di ba yung expected credit losses natin, minumultiply pa natin ng certain percentage. Okay? Para malaman yung impairment loss. Pero sa case kasi na to, wala nang ganun. Okay? Kung ano talaga yung difference ng dalawa, dahil siya stage 3 na. Okay? O dahil ganun yung problem natin. Okay? Malamang, ito na talaga yung ating impairment loss. So, tapos na po yan. Yan na rin yung ating impairment loss. Okay? So, therefore, nandun na tayo sa impairment loss sa total. Now, how much will be the impairment loss for 2026? Siyempre, kunin natin yung balance niya. So, ito. Okay, lifetime credit loss. Ito ulit siya. Yan. Lifetime credit loss o yung total impairment, you have to deduct the unadjusted to the unadjusted balance. Parang inuulit na lang natin to. Unadjusted balance nung allowance as of December 31, 2025. O magkano nga yung ating balance nun before? Di ba, ang total natin ito 517,464. So simple lang naman yung concept, gusto mong pumunta dun sa amount na yun sa 2 million. Ay dati ka na may na-record na 517,000. Therefore, it will be the increase or this what we called impairment loss for 2026. So yun na po yan. 2,073,360 minus 517,464. Okay? So we will get 1,555,896. Okay? And we also compute for the carrying amount. Parang ulit-ulit lang. So the loans receivable actually, the loans receivable is amounting to 3 million. And the allowance for loan impairment is amounting to 2,073,360. Okay? Tama, yun, di ba? Therefore, this is the carrying amount. The carrying amount as of December 31, 2026. So, 3 million minus 2,073,360. Okay? 926,640. Okay? That will be our carrying amount. Lagyan natin ng entry. Okay? Kasi I believe yun na po yun. December 31, 2026. Ang sabi sa problem, nakakolekta muna. Nakakolekta siya. Okay? So, therefore, we are going to debit cash and credit interest income. Di ba yun yung sabi ng problem kanina? Nakakolekta pa rin naman daw ng interest. So, pakita po natin dito. Sabi, interest is collected for 2026. So, therefore, yung 3 million natin, nakakolekta pa rin naman tayo ng 9%. So, mayroon pa rin tayong 270,000. Kasi yung sabi ng problem. And then, nagkaroon ulit ng impairment dito. 1 million. So, therefore, we are going to debit impairment loss. Impairment loss. And we are going to credit allowance for loan impairment. Okay, 1,555,896. Okay, mag-generalize muna tayo ng mga nangyayari. Okay, pagdating sa stage 3, there is an objective evidence na sasabihin po yun ng problem. Pero computational wise, ikumpara natin dito sa stage 2. Dito ba sa una, parehas lang din? Yes. So stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, para sa parehas, kailangan mong i-present value yung expected cash flow. Magkakaiba lang siguro ng amount, di ba? Kasi depende yun sa kung gaano yung ine-expect ng kumpanya na makokolekta. Okay? Pero yung factor, syempre, nag-move siya every year. Depende sa layo. And then katulad ng stage 2, kinikwenta natin yung expected credit losses. Ayan o. Di ba? Na yung na lumalabas sa ating expected credit losses ay lifetime. So parehas sila sa case nito, parehas. Kung may pagkakaiba man ng kaunti, kapag stage 2 sa problem, merong 30% lang daw ng lifetime. Yun yung hindi makakabayad, gaya yung impairment loss. Pero sa stage 3 kasi, kung ano yung lifetime credit loss, yun na yun. Wala nang kadunsong na rate doon sa problem. Okay? And then after that, katulad lang din nung kanina. Pagkwentahin mo lang yung dating balance compared dun sa current balance yung dapat na total to get the impairment loss. Okay, kasi syempre, yung increase na lang talaga ang kailangan nating i-recognize. So, ganun po yun. Okay, so napansin ninyo, stage 2 and stage 3, walang pagkakaiba. Halos. Okay, ang pagkakaiba kasi nila is pagdating dun sa interest na makakolekta the following year. Okay, kasi kapag ka stage 2, yung interest na kinokollect is nakabase pa rin dun sa dun sa face amount na 3 million. Di ba 3 million to? Kaya yung interest dito nakabase pa dun sa sa 3 million. Okay? Ay ibig sabihin para makita yung pagkakaiba. Di ba nire-require ng problem entry hanggang 2027. Pag meron kasing objective evidence of impairment na, ang interest ay hindi na nakabase nga doon sa sa face value. Hindi na nakabase doon, but rather doon na sa carrying amount. What I'm trying to say is, gawin na lang natin. Okay? Stage 3. We are going to credit interest income. Kasi nga, meron interest income pa rin. Dapat, dahil may loan pa rin. Kahit yan na impaired, dahil may pagtakbo ng panahon, may time factor, palaging may interest income. At ang kapartner na po natin, hindi na po cash, but rather, i-amortize na natin yung allowance for loan impairment. Okay? Ito yung epekto ng stage 3. Even though parehas nga sila ng computation ng stage 2. Kaya paano nga ulit yun? Kung ano yung carrying amount, okay, yung carrying amount, ayan, so which is 926,000, okay, ito, 926,640, napansin nyo yun din yun, no? Di ba? Okay, doon na naka-base yung ating interest na 9%. Okay, 9% yung kanina, di ba? Ito, yung 9%. So whatever is the answer, 83,000. That will be our interest income for the following year. So debit allowance for loan impairment, 83,398, round na natin. And credit, 83,398. Okay, so again, yung part po na yan, ang pagkakaiba ng stage 2 at stage 3. Kasi pareha silang gumagamit ng lifetime credit loss. Okay? So yun naman pong stage 1, gumagamit ng 12 months lamang. Okay? Ang pagkakatulad naman ng stage 1 at ni stage 2, magkaiba sila. I mean, ang pagkakaiba nila, si stage 1, 12 months, si stage 2 ay lifetime. Okay, yun ang pagkakaiba nila. Pagkakatulad naman nila sa pagkikwenta ng interest. Pareha sila nakabase ay sa face value. Okay, sa stage 2 and stage 3 naman, pareha sila expected credit losses lifetime. Pagkakaiba naman nila yung interest. Si stage 2 nakabase ay sa face value. Si stage 3 naman ay nakabase nga sa carrying amount. So I believe, sana po may natutunan tayo dun sa ating mahabang problem sa 3 stages of impairment. So yun lamang at maraming salamat.